What can we do to make men vulnerable? Now, according to a report published on Intel website, it says 444,000 suicides have been recorded for the better half of this 2025. And guess what? 75 to 80% of that are men. Another question is, how can men be set up in a, let's say in a structure where they can be openly, freely to talk about the things that they're going through? And also if they have to open up, to who are they going to open up to? That is what we're going to delve into and much more. And today, I'm going to be engaging Phoebe Atieno. She's the founder of Archie Mental Health Foundation, alongside Peter Mtegi, beg your pardon. He's a counseling psychologist, and he's also a policeman. So we'll get to have an interesting conversation. So come close to your TV. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Great to meet you guys.
Good morning.
Karibu sana. So let me start off with the lady. Maybe you can briefly tell us what you do and some of the things you've interacted with in the circles around mental health before we get to the men's perspective in a bit here.
My name is Phoebe Atieno Cheng. I'm a teacher by profession. I'm a mental health advocate. I'm the founder of Archie Mental Health Foundation. I'm a mentor. I'm a leader. I do also planning, programming, mostly in events, and leadership strategy.
Okay. Karibu sana. Peter?
Yeah, my name is Peter. I'm a psychologist and counselor as well, and a police officer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Karao.
Yeah.
In other words.
I really advocate for mental health, and I'm also a champion in gender-based violence.
Yeah.
And I work with so many teams, including the Red Cross and
in collaboration with part of her network as well.
Yeah.
Still on you, because yesterday was Father's nimejump because you look at Father's Day, but I'll come back to you. Yesterday was Father's Day. I don't know if, as a family man, if you also got a chance to be wished Father's Day, or if you also had a chance to wish, your guardian a Father's Day, because I believe it comes with a sense of being vulnerable. Yeah. And when somebody's wishing you a happy Father's Day, it comes from a point of, I love you, I'm recognizing you, and that just makes it sweeter for a man. I don't know if you received any, or you did it as well.
Numerous. I received many, including her.
Including from Phoebe as well.
Phoebe as well, yeah.
So what were your responses maybe? Because if somebody tells you, I love you, especially if it's your child, do you say, I love you back?
I feel good. I feel appreciated, because most of the time, we don't get appreciation from the society, and even how they perspective, the people, how they perceive as they just take us as if we are not human beings.
Yeah.
But we are normal.
And also being a police officer, it comes with a certain, I'd say posture and demeanor. You're a hardcore, kurutu. Something of that sort. Yes. Yeah. So how can we also maybe get men to open up in the police service? Because I believe you guys go through a lot during your training. Are there things that affect you mentally that possibly, if you're seated here, you'd like to put across so that we delve into it and much more?
I think there is a lot to be done in police service, or in the national police service, or even entire security forces. There is a lot to be done when it comes to the issue of mental health, because normally we face a lot of issues which are very weird sometimes.
Yeah. And
these things, they affect you directly because you come into contact with them directly.
Yeah.
So basically, I think the government should improve in the area of advocating for mental health in men and women in uniform.
Yeah. And let me ask you, Lize, what makes it difficult to say nini inaweza fanya mtu akisha go through training ya kuwa policeman na nini huwa ina change kwa maisha yake? Because nimesikia story mingi mtu anasema huyu jamaa kai jamaa wetu anymore.
You said you are?
I'm Sankwa.
Okay. Sankwa, the training is always rigorous. It is, you go series of events. And sometimes, you know, like in a normal way of life, you are introduced in a very new environment that you have not been used to. So sometimes you hear them saying at the college, weka kiri baridi.
Yeah.
So that weka kiri baridi, you have to invest your emotions, I mean to change, to adjust to that environment automatically, because sometimes you wake up early in the morning and maybe you have not cleaned up your shoe well, and, and that counts your day. Your day will be very difficult.
What will make it difficult? Utapigwa nini?
Yeah.
In short, kuna kupigwa kwa training.
You are beaten. Thoroughly tena.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So polisi wote wenye wametrain wamepigwa at some point.
You have to be beaten. That is not a discussion.
And let me ask you,
yeah,
why are you being beaten? Are you being beaten to be hardened or to be punished?
You see, there is what we call there are two types of discipline.
Discipline, okay.
Okay? They are instilled and that you are born with. So they instill. There's the instauration of that discipline that I see now they're instilling to you. Like in the first phase, in the first 3 months, they say they want to do away with the uraia. They want to remove uraia in you. What is the essence of that? Is they mean that, like, because you are dealing with a human being, you are dealing with the people who have different versions, who have different feelings when you go out there. So somebody comes along and just give you a slap. So that person wants to see how your reactions will be.
So you should not react.
Going to react.
So you should not react. Yeah, you should.
Definitely, as a human being, emotionally, you'll feel bad. You'll be sad.
You'll react. You'll cry. You'll scream.
But now, they want to see what action can you take after there. Because now, you may face or you may encounter such a thing when you are outside there, and you are holding a gun. All right. This gun, you can kill. In fact, one bullet can kill more than 20 people. One bullet. All right. So they want to
frustrate you, torture you, so that
they want to convert you to come to the world of you are dealing with a human who are sometimes careless in talk and everything and behavior. So how will you be able to handle these issues whenever you encounter them?
So you should be an animal or a monster.
Not even an animal. You should be different from normal human
beings, because you're being hardened.
Because this is a gun.
And
can I ask you, for example?
Sure.
If I come here, I have a gun. So maybe you just gossip on me. Peter is so black. So I get irritated, I shoot you.
You cock it and you unleash.
Those circumstances. So they want to convert you now from thinking or from behaving in a raia way to karao way.
To a hardcore way. Okay. Just hold it there. We'll get what he's actually saying, Phoebe. I think it's a difficult thing, especially if it's happening to a normal human being. But then let's switch it to a normal mass perspective. What makes it difficult for a man to open up? Because even from the info that I've just shared by a site called Intel, it says 75 to 80% of men are making up the biggest chunk of suicides that have happened in 2025 up to that 6 months, half of the year. And most of them are afraid. They're suffering in silence because of the fear and the shame of being judged. So how can we make men comfortable and vulnerable with what they're going through to share openly without being afraid to be stigmatized?
I think on my side, one of the things, or one of the ways we can use to make men comfortable by offering favorable environment for them. Remember, when I was growing up as a child, I used to see one of our neighbors at home. He could come. He used to have a car. During the old days, if you have a vehicle, you are very rich. So once he gets inside the compound, it will take like around 10 minutes in the car. But by then I used not to I know the reason why it took too long to get out of the car and go to the house. And later on in the years, I realized the wife was so noisy.
Yeah.
So it takes some time, think how he's going to enter into that house and without problems and being questioned, why have you come late? And I know so many women, we talk too much, but again,
Yeah.
sometimes the best way, even if you have your own issues.
Yeah.
So once the man come into the house, yeah, just welcome him calmly. If you have issues, it can come later.
Yeah.
Because most men, my dad used to tell me, most men like, it's either respect and peace of mind. So if you give them both,
Yeah.
you'll find more reason to come home early. But if you are a bit noisy, there's no peace at home, they'll never open up to you. And to add on, I think having brothers around me, also some, I have a brother who is more of introverted.
Yeah.
He's not so talkative as I am, but one of the ways I've learned to stay with him,
Yeah.
if I want him to talk, I can always come up with a story.
Yeah.
And you find it easier for him to also participate in that story. You can also come up with open-ended questions or conversations. It helps them to be able to join you and find a reason to converse with you.
Yeah, I want you to react to this meme. I actually highlighted yesterday, and I was having a conversation with a colleague, friend of mine, and I told Mike. I playfully asked him, Mike, would you open up about your worst experience and how it's affecting you? Akaniambia, to who am I opening up to? And I picked it up really interestingly, but I want you to react to this. It says, when a man expresses anger, he is termed as toxic. When a man expresses fear, he is termed as a coward. When a man sets boundaries, he is termed to be insecure. When a man expresses sadness, he is called weak. When a man has standard, he is labeled as a misogynist. When a man expresses emotions, he is called a simp. And then when he shares no emotions, he is called a monster, heartless, and cold-hearted. So from all these things that are happening out here, is it society that has set it up in a way that if a man opens up, then he ceases to be a man anymore? So men should just, like be hardcore, like, he's in his training, you're being converted. I'm assuming the word converted to not be normal as the normal other person. Is it when a man opens up, they cease to become a normal man from a counseling's perspective?
I think in the society that we live in, this is what I always say, it's okay not to be okay, and it's also okay to open up. The reason being, in this world we all have problems. Hakuna mtu mwenye hana shida, you see. But again, even if you have to express yourself, in the case of men, this is the advice I always give. Look for a trustable person. Learn to, one of the things I've learned the hard way, I was not that extrovert. I was once introverted.
Okay.
But I think depression made me to open up. I was not also friendly as such. But one of the things I learned is the art of looking for a trustable person to talk with.
To confide in.
Yeah, you can confide in. And then also the society has a belief that when a man opens up, there's a way they expect you to behave.
Yeah.
Like you have to man up, you have to be strong.
Yeah.
No.
For example, in a funeral, you've lost your dad, you've lost your wife. You should just be as still as water, as still water. No tears, no nothing.
No, you have to express your emotions.
Because elders will tell you as a man, ufai kulia bwana, unalia mbele ya bibi na watoto, sasa watoto watafanya nini? And you're the man, yeah? You see now the way it's set up now, yeah.
Yeah, so it's okay to express your emotion, but also you have to gauge who are you sharing with.
Yeah.
Then, is it convenient for you to share that time?
Yeah.
And also, because of psychology, I think for me, I'm able to know a person who has a problem, just looking at how they behave, how they conduct themselves.
Yeah.
If they are more of anger, maybe there's something disturbing them, so I'll be able to. And one of the things I advocate in my foundation,
Yeah.
or one of the mission, or one of the objective, is to offer a favorable environment for people to talk. I think my neighbor here knows
safety plus. Yeah.
Yeah, I always tell people, if you can't share in the group, my inbox is always open. Just talk to me. If it's something I can't share, it's something I can't help at the moment, I can link you with therapists, I can link you with counselors, because most of them are there.
Yeah.
And I have a number of them in my contact list. So that has really helped so many people to heal. And I thank God for that. At least I'm trying to impact the world.
Okay, yeah. Maybe from still you're a health, you're the founder of Archie Mental Health Foundation. Maybe from some of the interactions you meet, what do you think is the greatest wound that a lot of people are suffering from mentally, in terms of just their general life outlook? And I'll come to you shortly, Peter. Yeah.
I think one of the major issues that are affecting people, one of them is job. So you find out that people are jobless and they don't know what to do. Another one is some people are suffering from child trauma.
Childhood
trauma.
trauma.
So they are, it's something that really affects people even when you're grown.
Okay.
Some of them, it's because of betrayal. They once shared with a person, and they find it very difficult also to, because of the past experiences they had.
Yeah.
So they feel like, I can no longer share anything with anybody. Yeah. So I think there's a lot, betrayal.
Trust is broken.
And also the fear of being judged.
Yeah.
I feel like...
a book pause on this judgment, because I also try to ask Mike, this judgment ikona nini, what will people say? I think the question is, the mind is, what if I share this and then...
Their reaction.
Yeah, their reaction.
How will they look at me?
Why is it a scary thing? What makes people to be scared?
We're all human beings, so there's a way we have different opinions and suggestions.
Yeah.
So there's a way.
How fatal and lethal can it be when somebody says, "Eh, Sakwa, kumbe you did it." Yes, I did it. Yeah. So what? Yeah. I think I responded to it like that.
Okay, let me give an example.
Is that one that can kill you?
Let me just give my own example. I think last month I was going through something. So I know for therapists, this is what people believe about us. Yeah. That atunanga shida, you see. Yeah. So I was going through a tough moment. I needed somebody to talk to. I could
mentally, emotionally.
Yeah, mentally.
Okay.
And I ran the phone. I was calling a certain lady. She's a counselor, my friend.
Colleague friend.
Yeah. So when I called her, because I needed urgent, it was very urgent. Yeah. But she did not pick my call, and I felt like, oh God, where am I going to start? Yeah. Because a lot was going through my mind. But the fact that she didn't, pick up my call, I had to look for another person. By good luck, I found another lady, and I shared with her. So later on is when the lady came to my inbox. I missed your call. What was going on? I shared, and she's like, Phoebe moja, akishuali ina vile unakuanga like, nikikuangalia unakanga tu ni kama
the strong point.
Niwe umetushikilia hapa, you are like 400 plus, and I didn't know you are going through this, and she was sympathetic. So there's a way, the fear, there's a way people judge you, because for her, alikuwa naona ni, I'm a very strong person. I know I am, but sometimes I'm also helpless. I need help. Yeah. Actually,
therapists have therapists too. Yeah. Because if you take in so much, you absorb, you become a sponge, then you become a dumping ground. So you need to debrief, and you have to debrief through another person as well.
Yes.
And I understand, and that's just being human. Yeah. Let me throw it to Peter. From what I've read it to you here, wanasema mwanaume express emotions, anakuwa simp. Yeah. Asiposhare pia wanamuita ni heartless, yeye ni mnyama. Aki-express fear, kuogopa, anasema we ni mwoga, utaitwa mwanamke in fact. But aki-express anger pia, anasema ni mtu toxic, hata aombewe sasa, afanyiwe deliverance huyo. Personally for you, are you able to be vulnerable? Have you been vulnerable if you were to point out zile places in your life zenye you've been able to open up and share that you're confident and secure as a man who serves in the police service? You'd say, Mimi, I'm an open book. I suffered here, it was shameful, it was painful, but I shared it and I'm easy breezy. Yeah.
Thank you very much. In many occasions, I've shared because personally I've gone through a lot.
Yeah. Please share just one vulnerable experience. I think it will carry the day for this conversation as a policeman. What you opened up about yenye ilikusumbua tu sana.
You know, when we were in training, there was something that happened within the college, and we were like, now that this group, because we were in Kiganjo, and we were about 4,000 recruits.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happens within the system of
the
that
training.
School.
Okay. Then
they said, our head of training said early in the morning when we were in the parade, and he announced that I'm going to dissolve all these records. They go back to their homes.
Wow.
We have. I don't know what was really cooking inside.
Yeah.
Personally, I was innocent. You know now. So we went to the deep of what?
Yeah.
What will happen?
Yeah. Mlikuwa train for how long? By the time alikuwa anasema hivyo.
About 3 months.
3 months in. Yeah.
So we were like, now what will happen? How are we going to tell our people? So it brings so many trauma, by the way, because you try to think now you're going back home.
Yeah.
You have not completed your
training. Yeah.
So how sad.
Anxiety, actually.
Yeah.
That's anxiety and panic.
There's a lot of panic.
Yeah.
And that was one of the worst.
Yeah.
Because we had to go back to the barrack and as a group, we are grouped, a group of 50. They stay in this barrack, group of 50. So the entire group of 50 people, we went and sat down and...
all right, you can just hold your point there, bro. We fix something on your sound. We are getting to you in a bit. Phoebe, from what he's saying, I think there's an aspect of inhumanism or just being, not kind, not... Because I believe anyways, training has to be really, I'd say, comprehensive, but should it be brutal? Should it be, should it extend to that, a place where you're being disconnected from being human, you're being dehumanized to become, a monster? Because that changes your whole mental structure. And even, like he said, just in case you're triggered, because we've seen all these cases as well happen. Mtu tu alikuwa anatembea kwa street na bunduki, and then mtu akafanya. In fact, alimshtua tu, and he cocked the gun and shot at them, and they died there. So that means that their mental well-being in the police service as well is not normal compared to the normal mwananchi. Should it be that way in terms of them being trained to be professional?
I think as he was talking, I relate the days when I was in TTC. Before I joined TTC, I used to say, if the easiest course is teaching. But once I entered there, I found out that it was not that easy because it's like a high school. If you want to go out, you have to ask for permission.
Yeah.
I was not used to that. There's a lot of... So there's a way it changed also myself.
Yeah.
Because I always believe restrictions are good, instructions are good, but sometimes we don't have to overdo it.
Yeah,
If
but I
you-
understand for the police one, it's a little bit exclusionary
Yeah,
in a sense that you have to be hardened, yeah? So the training is brutal, yeah. Kuna ile torture kidogo to make you feel pain, but then remember you're a human being, you are alive, you have a heart, you have a brain, you have emotions, yeah?
I think the impact that it comes with, that
Uh-huh.
kind, the training of the policemen,
Uh-huh.
the impact that it comes with, it's trauma.
Yeah.
And most of them, you'll find them, they lack self-esteem,
Yeah, they have low self-esteem or a broken self-esteem.
self-awareness, self-discovery, self-expression. So
Yeah.
there's a way it affects a person,
Yeah.
how they think,
How they behave.
how they behave, and yeah.
Yeah. Sure, hold it right there. Let me get back to you, Peter. You're saying something interesting. You are thrown into this, array of fear, panic, and whatnot, and then you had to be taken to another session again for training. So how did you carry on from that panic and anxiety?
We had to encourage one another because we were a group. So luckily we were a group. So we had to talk, to encourage one another, to be strong. We encouraged people to be strong, and they say some they were reacting different, of course. Some even they were crying, and you see, it really pains sometimes when you set to your mind that you have gotten a permanent job from government.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you are told
Sure, yeah?
you are going to be dissolved.
Takupeleka home.
So it was a really one of the most worst experience
yeah.
that maybe I may say I experienced, and maybe some of my colleagues also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about from the training? Because I'm getting back to also some of the, say, mental health issues that men go through.
Yeah.
Maybe what is the most brutal part or the most brutal segment of training that actually inayo inakuumiza tu?
The training is planned. It has timetable, and it has what we call the liturgical, a series of event how you cut them. So the worst part of it is when you are introduced to shooting, because that is the place where you are being, the instructors, they are very keen on you because you are likely to injure one another because if you mishandle the weapon.
Yeah.
So when you are taken to rage, they call them rage, where you go for shooting.
Yeah.
You practice shooting, shaba and everything.
Yeah.
So my friend, in that, we call it battlefield.
Yeah.
There is no joke there.
Yeah.
Keep.
Is there someone who's shot at directly, in a sense that somebody is running and they're shooting?
You know what? When you're handling weapon, there are certain instructions that you are given. So, for example, you just
let's say your target is me.
Your target is you.
Is me.
So we are supposed to align all of us because you are not the only person.
Okay.
So you are targeting on you. So whenever, if you turn your weapon back, it means you have killed your colleague.
Yeah.
You have done with your colleague. So you are in for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do some instances
So you are
happen?
supposed to maintain. And so sometimes as a human being, you forget.
Yeah.
You forget it. Sometimes you just forget, and maybe you find yourself doing things there.
Mtu mwingine. Yeah. Does it happen, and do they even report that something happened like this during training?
No. Remember, this is a training.
We
have the
session.
people who are professionals in this area.
Yeah.
So you are just, I'm telling you, you are just being converted from a normal behavior, the raia behavior, to a policeman, and you have to uphold all things that are being done there.
Yeah.
Because
even if it's brutal, hurtful, painful.
The word brutal may not necessarily fit there because
brutal is normal there.
Brutal is a bit not friendly.
It's a high-end word on this other side.
Yeah.
Gen Z will be like, nope, not with my nails, not with my nails. But let's Phoebe, let's get into, say, the mental health issues that men go through. From what I'm understanding from Peter's training as well in his profession, there's a lot of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, that could come from just being exposed to the extreme end of pain as a normal human being, and trying to also convert to be normal, but then still dealing with extreme pain that you went through. Maybe if you were to just break it down, what are some of the common, let's say, mental health issues that are affecting men outside there as a professional that you've encountered?
One of them is isolation. In isolation, let's say you share what you feel, but you find out that there's no one who's interested to listen. You're being ignored. Nobody cares. Another one is misdiagnosis.
And actually, it's a thing. That nobody cares, it's a thing. In fact, there's a viral video on TikTok. Just don't lose your train of thought. Hold it here, hold it here. There's this Gen Z on Asabanga. There's usually a caption they make, life is so private, nobody knows my dad is a policeman. And from the comment is, nobody cares, nobody cares, nobody cares. And then somebody says, people will care when you die or when you become famous or rich. But for now, nobody cares. It's a thing, anyways. Hope you've not lost your train of thought here.
Yeah.
You can see it's normalized in society.
Yes,
that nobody cares, but...
So we also have misdiagnosis.
Misdiagnosis,
a lot of men who have issues, maybe some of them can go to the hospital and the doctors can just say, mwanaume si anaweza jikaza kidogo. So it's not like women. I think with the women empowerment, many men are, kuna venye wametengwa to generally, they're not cared for, and
it's like the empowerment as well is disempowering the man, because the empowered girl child is very tough and very strong-willed. So how can a disempowered boy child face an empowered girl child? Them meeting on the same curve is two different things here.
I think that's the reason why a lot of independent women, they see the disempowered men as to be anything. Like, you can't tell us anything. After all, I'm ahead of you. Probably nimesoma kukuliko. And that lowers the self-esteem of a man. Because if that's how you feel, kuna hiyo kubrag pia with women. I've learned that. I've seen it myself. But I always say, if at all you have brothers, like kuna venye Mungu amekubariki with brothers among your siblings, or even your friends, just, I think for men kuna venye unafaa tu kutreat usiwa tenge sana, make them feel warmly, because utapata there's some trainings, I'm just an example, there's some trainings ukienda, like let me say teaching, you'll find a lot of women, but men
but now I'm seeing a lot of men are nurses here.
Ni kitu imeanza tu come up, like, because new encouragement, and because for me I advocate for both men's mental health and female. I didn't want to split
boy child versus girl child, but two different things.
So it's not working. And another mental health issues, job, because let's say you have a family, and you don't have a job, and you have a wife there,
or you have, but it's not giving you enough, Pia.
You'll face a lot of trouble in the house. Really, you'll face a lot of trouble, because atakwambia, or let's say ana work, for example, your wife, and ama umepoteza kazi. I have a neighbor back then, I think in 2020, I witnessed this, and the husband was accountant, and I think they were both accountants, but the husband lost the job, and the wife yake ni kama ilikuwa retained. Remember, so many people went home, and kazi ilipotea, and many other things. But this one day I spotted the husband akiosha vyombo,
Yeah.
washing nyuma ya nyumba. And I was
Right.
asking my mom, kwani siku hizi nyumba akina so and so kumeenda aje?
Baba na
And the wife
Ninda.
doesn't care. Ajali,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
The fact that
Yeah.
the husband afanyi kazi, she
Oh,
took it
so
as an
yeah.
advantage.
Afanye nini za
So
nyumba.
kuna tu
Yeah.
wanaambia utafanya hizo
Weosha,
kazi ingine.
Wanaume wa aina gani?
And I always feel like
Yeah.
this is what I was taught by my father. Like even if you are in corporate world, when you step out of the gate, carry your title with you to work job. Ukirudi home, as you approach the gate, to Anisha,
Yeah.
you are another person. So don't carry it to the house.
Yeah.
No. I think that has led to breakage of many homes.
Yeah, you're a top advocate of the High Court, defending some of the toughest cases that no man is in that panel. Yeah, I can only imagine. I think it's a modern day thing. But then also still on that point, what has changed from generation to generation? Because when you look at our fathers, personally, my dad, rest in peace, I never saw him express sadness. I never saw him, say he can't do it. Like he always had it together. You want this? Oh, I'll get you. I was shocked actually when my dad was abducted and tortured, and I read everything in the news. I was somewhere else, only to read that he was going through stuff at the parastatal. He was heading it was a government parastatal, but he never told me. Yeah. So when you look at such a record as well, most of our fathers never complained. They never said, oh, I have a headache. Oh, today I feel like I don't have the capacity anymore. Today I feel like I'm self-doubting myself. We never had it. What has changed from that generation to this one, where men are being told, you know what, you don't have to suffer in silence, because if you do, you will die. We'll just pick your body and take it to the morgue and tunaenda tunakuzika. What has changed generationally?
I think it's about mental health awareness. People have come out and they have learned the art of sharing.
Storytelling, actually.
Which has really helped them to know. Because let's say for counselors and psychologists, there's a place whereby most of us, we examine the situation, but ikituzidi, we always throw it to the physiotherapist.
Yeah.
Especially kama it's some critical cases which we can't handle, we extend it to physiotherapist. So the art of iyo kuongea has really, people have come out.
Sema ikutoke.
Yeah. It's a good thing. And I think it has really helped. And I would encourage the same in our home setup, whereby if you feel kuna kitu haiendi, just
seek help.
Because personally in our family, growing up, however busy parents would be, we used to have a round table after tuishakula, and we just sit down at least at the week, towards the week, or maybe Sunday or Saturday, but mostly Sundays. Where you have a talk, and my dad just open a discussion, and kila mtu aseme sema tupati yako, kama mimi kuna venye akutreat vizuri, you open up and say it.
And you'll not be reprimanded.
No.
It's actually a safer
and
environment, yeah? Okay. Right, let me jump onto you, Peter, because we have like 4 minutes to exit.
Yes.
From a man's experience, maybe what are some of the things that men go through that wengi wao wamenyamazia tu, unajua tu lazima pia huyu ana go through this, but hata haisema. Ama once you become friends with them, akwambia you realize, oh, but I was also going through the same, but sikuwa isema. Interestingly, some of them end up winning and overcoming it, but some of them succumb to it and just continue to suffer consistently in silence. Shortly,
I think women we go through a lot because there is that narrative of culture. So you find mostly like the way families are set up in Kenya. Culturally, you are supposed, the man is the head of family. So so there is a belief that man should not be defeated. And whenever you have an issue, you should be a man. You should be there.
Kufa kimwanaume.
Masculine, you're
kufa
supposed you kufa kimwanaume. So I think that is a very dangerous narrative.
Philosophy.
We are supposed to be, we uphold. And I think it's high time that we break those kind of
Traditional
cultures and
structures.
traditions, and we invite ourselves to the world of sharing. Because whenever you share, you gotta
the burden is lifted.
Yes. And again, sometimes I share in the we have a group in our group.
Yeah. Okay.
I always tell them, as a man, don't stress yourself to something that you are not able to do with,
To have or achieve
or to handle.
or accomplish.
For example, you find so many men like this period of dating.
Yeah.
You find that
Yeah.
you struggle to balance the equation of money, and then with the girlfriend, and sometimes you may have even 200 shillings, and you want to spend it.
You want to show her
your
that
lady.
I'm the king, and I can do
So
it.
you end up in kufuriza,
Yeah.
courtesy of your
Girlfriend.
lady.
Yeah.
That is a mental. You
It's
have
a mental health issue.
issue.
Yeah. Because also loans, I believe debt is the greatest problem. Finances,
And
Finances,
again, there is a research that is being carried out, and you know, this issue of mental is becoming now a disaster in our country, because it affects so many, especially the young adults.
Yeah.
They are very
To now it are Gen Zs.
Gen Zs.
Yeah.
The young adults, they are most vulnerable group in regard to this mental
Because
issue.
everything they learn and see about themselves is on the internet.
Yeah.
So hawana offline role models.
And I think it's high time
mentors.
also we need to train or to invite these young people to the world of reality.
Yeah.
You manage what you are able to manage. What you are unable to manage, you leave it to another person.
Living beyond your
Yes,
means.
yes. You live within your budget.
Yeah.
It is something that's really affecting.
It's actually a
people.
skill that should be learned, and there's a lot of wisdom.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe we can have a part 2 of this conversation because our time is out. So for anyone who would like to, let's say, because I know you are running, it's Achie or Achi, anyone who would like to seek your services and maybe get to invite you as well to talk about this conversation further in some of these forums and conferences, how can they get hold of both of you? You can go first, Phoebe.
I think the way they can access me is via, I'm in LinkedIn, Phoebe Ochieng.
Okay.
On Facebook, Phoebe Racy. Instagram, Phoebe Ochieng.
Right.
And more the same, they can also get me via my phone number, 0724 41 83 15.
Okay. So got you. Peter, if you like to be invited in a forum, how can they get hold of you?
They can get me kwa social media on Facebook, Peter Mutegi Mauki.
Okay, sure.
And of course, Instagram, everything, I use that name. I don't complicate things.
Yeah. Are you still in the service?
I'm still in service.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So I hope si hatia kuwekwa hapa televisheni kueleza story yako. Because I saw what happened with Samido. I'm like,
no.
Yeah.
I'm here as a profession. You know, besides the career work, I'm also a
You're just an
professional
ordinary, citizen who runs other stuff. Yeah. And that's an incredible thing, actually.
Yes.
So great to interact with you guys. We've run out of time. There's so much to talk about. We can have a part 2. Yeah, Sido, that's all right.
I'm open to discussions.
Sure.
And
Big
also
time.
those who have opportunities, they can always
they can
link me.
always link you
I'm
up. I
currently
believe
looking for a place.
they'll get in touch with what you've shared.
Yeah.
Right, thank you so much for being here, guys. And thank you to you too for watching us from exactly 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. I and my co-host Stephanie Ayeta will see you tomorrow bright and early at Brand Second One at Y254 channel. See you tomorrow.